Hi, my name is Randi Dresner. I'm 57. I live in East Meadow. I have two children, Stephen and Rebecca, and I am the CEO of Island Harvest Food Bank, a food bank here on Long Island helping to feed people who are hungry. Most recently, my son Stephen underwent surgery for his back, and before that, we had found out that he was going to be taking some opioids to get through some of the pain, and I was nervous about it. The last thing I wanted was my son to become addicted to those medicines, and in my mind I had all sorts of things going through my head with the possibilities. So I started to talk to a lot of people about it to figure out what their experiences were and see if I can get some recommendations about what we could do. One of the people I talked to was our pharmacist, who talked to me about the medicines and explained that the opioids are not going to get rid of his pain completely. It's just sort of going to be dulling the pain. And so it's important to stay on the schedule that we get from the doctor. But it's really, what he kept recommending was to be careful about not going for the extra dose and to just be careful with that. And his doctor was really clear about the recommendations as well. As he explained to me, he did the same surgery he did on my son hundreds of times through the year, and he has not had one patient that became addicted because they're really careful about it. And so we met with the pain team every day that he was in surgery. They came to his bedside several times a day. They went over the whole regimen of medicines and really talked my son through all of the meds that were being recommended. And the interesting thing was there was the older of the pain doctors. They were talking about the pain medicines that they were giving him. And then this doctor stopped and said, "Listen, I don't even like to give my patients Motrin," he said, "let alone all these other opioids that you're on." He said, "Even Motrin, whatever we could do to get you off of that, that's what his goal was," he said. And when my son was released from the hospital and we came home, he was in a tremendous amount of pain, and none of the meds were helping him, not even the opioids. We didn't know what to do, and actually felt that we needed to increase his dosage. But going through the whole thing, the pain team was on the phone with us frequently and talking us through how to administer the medicines for him. And we did increase it, but we were really careful. And I never let my son have the medicines. I always was the one to give it to him, just to at least have some separation there of the medicines. He didn't want to be on it either, and so it was tough though. We were on, I guess it was about a week after the hospital, and then at some point I was able to start to titrate him down off of the meds, and we actually got off of it and all was okay, but I was nervous about it the whole time. And what it made me think about, we talk all the time about this opioid problem here on Long Island, and all we ever hear about is after the fact. And what occurred to me going through this experience, we need to do more about the prevention. It's important, obviously, to help people once they're addicted, but we're not doing enough about prevention. We're not talking about what does it mean? Why are people becoming addicted to it? Well, how about talking about the pain? And how about explaining that these opioids are not going to take away the pain completely? It's just going to dull it. How about having those kinds of conversations? How about understanding about when people are on the medicines, that feeling like they'll be better if they take one more pill? Well, maybe we need to talk through those things. Maybe the doctors need to be more involved in this and working with their patients a little bit closer. I could tell you that when my daughter was younger and she had her wisdom teeth pulled, she got a prescription of opioids when I think she was 19. It was a huge vial of opioids that they prescribed for her. And she didn't even want to take them, but we wound up with this whole prescription. And I remember going back to the dentist saying, "How could you give this to a teenager?" I mean, it was just an insane thing.